Well, moving on, Essex police have been accused of an appalling attack on free speech after launching an investigation into the Telegraph journalist Alison Pearson for an alleged non-crime hate incident. Wrap your head around that statement.
Well, speaking on GB News yesterday, she revealed she will probably have a meeting with Home Secretary Yvette Cooper on the issue. Now,
several high-profile individuals have also been reacting to the news, including Elon Musk, who called it insane.
Well, let's get the thoughts now of the founder of Fair Cop, Harry Miller. Harry, thank you for joining us. You had a similar experience to this, didn't you? Would you like to just tell our viewers what happened to you?
Yeah, it was 2019 when, on the basis of a single report from a political activist, the police, Humberside Police, investigated me for tweeting some gender-critical stuff, including famously a limerick. It was as a result of this that we discovered that non-crime hate incidents have, since 2014, been used liberally and widely against members of the public by the police. Now, when I took the police to the High Court and then the Court of Appeal, it was supposed to have been the end of this nonsense. Non-crime hate incidents were supposed to have become a thing of the past. The problem is the police haven't read the memo. The police are still far more interested in creating a chilling effect over free speech than they are in protecting our rights as British citizens. To hell with the Court of Appeal, to hell with the High Court. They seem to be hell-bent on criminalising people who simply have and have expressed an opinion which they don't like. And this, of course, is what's happened to a Telegraph journalist. I cannot begin to stress how Stasi-like this is. In my case, the High Court judge said, we do not have in this country a Stasi, a Checker or a Gestapo. Well, it seems that that judge was wrong, because we certainly do have a Stasi, a Checker and a Gestapo now. And it's all well and good, Number 10 saying they don't want to comment. But unfortunately, that boat has sailed. In the summer, Keir Starmer was absolutely stirring up hate speech by criminalising anybody who had a say about the Southport riots. And then Yvette Cooper has flown in the face of the courts and encouraged police officers to start once again recording non-crime hate incidents against the members of the public. I myself am being summoned to a police station next week to be investigated for, I have no idea what, but apparently I've been accused of something under the Online Safety Act. So that's me. We've had the Telegraph journalist. I also read today that Maya Forstatter, the founder of Sex Matters, has also been investigated by the police. This is a rout of people who have conservative opinions. This is a Stasi police force which is going around and rounding up anybody who dares express an opinion which our crazy woke government does not like. We are in a terrible situation here, and it's time to fight back. I don't know how we do that, because going to court is incredibly expensive, but enough is enough. We've got to stop making the police pay for knocking on journalist doors, for knocking on the door of Sex Matters founder, and for knocking on my door for simply saying something that the establishment doesn't like.
Harry Miller from Fair Cop, thanks very much for coming on today and sharing what happened to you, and also that news about more people facing these non-crime hate incident investigations. I still really can't wrap my head around just the term NCHI, but there we are.
And you just wonder how on earth this has happened, because nobody joins the police force in order to police Twitter.
But you hope not. You hope not.
I mean, people want to contribute to society, to arrest criminals, surely, but something's going wrong in the training or the guidance to police officers, that they're focusing on these crimes rather than shoplifting and burglary and other actual crimes.
I'm convinced there must be loads of police officers really frustrated with this, very keen to go out, tackle robberies, burglaries, be on the street, on the beat, keeping an eye and maintaining the peace, but instead have their time get set into a car, drive up to somebody's house and knock on the door.
And a really good point that Alison Pearson made yesterday was that the knock on the door happened on Remembrance Sunday, the very day where we commemorate all the young men who gave their lives so that we could have freedom of speech. And yet suddenly it seems that that's under threat. Very worrying.
Well, Essex Police have released the following statement. They've said that Essex Police cuts crime. There are over 9,000 fewer reported offences in last year, 20,000 fewer than 5 years ago. Our officers and staff, some of which are military veterans, work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to keep the public safe and investigate crime. We police without fear or favour, and when a crime is reported, we investigate. That's what we do, and that's what the people of Essex expect. There has been a large amount of false reporting about an ongoing investigation, and the force has registered complaints with IPSO.
Well, spokesman for Essex Police there with that statement. And that report, of course, relates to a social media investigation which is on a post which has subsequently been removed, and an investigation is now being carried out under Section 17 of the Public Order Act.
James, I just want to move on quickly to a different story, because we're having this row, this free speech row, aren't we, about Alison Pearson being investigated by Essex Police. Now, we read with interest, Miriam and I, a piece you had in The Spectator yesterday about Labour's upcoming row with Elon Musk. Now, Elon actually was commenting live on our interview with Alison Pearson last night. Do you think this could be a bit of a sticking point for the new American administration with the new British government? These differing views on free speech potentially causing a bit of a rift there?
Certainly, Charlie, and I think that you look, for instance, at the cabinet composition this week, the fact that Elon Musk has been on calls, as far as we know, with President Zelensky, and I think is also the Prime Minister of Lithuania. He's clearly going to be someone who is playing a role and an influence, all of that. And obviously, everything that Elon Musk is saying about the Labour government is probably going to be fed into the Trump ecosystem. So Labour really have got this problem. How do you deal with a problem like Elon Musk? And I'm not sure yet they've answered how to work that one out. And you look at everything that Elon Musk has been tweeting about, posting about, talking about the farm tax, for instance, just mentioning there, also about so-called two-tier Keir as well. I think that Musk is going to be a really potential sticking point for this Labour government, and one they have to keep a close eye on.
Clearly, this debate about free speech and the use of Twitter is very live amongst the Westminster community. But do you think it's starting to gain traction amongst ordinary voters? I mean, certainly when I was standing for election this year, knocking on voters' door, it was not something that came up very often at all. Unless people were really, really engaged in politics, it wasn't a primary concern. But do you think something as high profile as this, a popular, well-known journalist being almost arrested, interviewed for something that she doesn't even know what she said, do you think it will start to gain political salience?
I do, and I think, remember during COVID, of course, Miriam, where we saw really examples of the police overreaching. I think that these things aren't just happening in isolation. There's also a danger about them being a cumulative effect as well. And you're right, perhaps it is not sort of the same thing as the bread and butter issue. But I do think that if Labour is seen as a government that embraces authoritarianism, that can pay a price, just like Tony Blair, by the end of his government, was seen as an increasingly authoritarian, out-of-touch Prime Minister. The danger is Labour does the same thing while also joining that with incompetence as well. So incompetent policing, as I say, it goes back to the point that Elon Musk, the criticism he was making about being two-tier.
At GB News, we are proud to stand for you, for the Britain that you love, and for the values that you believe in. We are your fearless champions, but we need your support. From just £5 a month, you can make sure that your views are always heard. GB News is the only news channel with the courage to say what the silent majority are really thinking. If it matters to you, it matters to us. Join thousands of members and become part of the GB News community today. Go to gbnews.com/support.